Welcome to another edition of Rabbitohs Radio. My name is Grant Chappell. I'm joined by absolutely no one over here in the Island of the Gods over in Bali, over for a family holiday. Thought I'd just catch up with you really quick with what's happened over the weekend, results-wise. Myself and the family have been over there at Noosa Lombongan. Unfortunately, they all got crook. The old Bali Billy struck again, but we're on the mend at the moment. So all is good. Anyway, I got to watch it with a couple of people from over in Australia there from Sydney, bit of a crew over there, a couple of Patrick's boys, Kane Hay used to play for the Bunnies, Trevor Shembry, big Bunnies fan, Matthew Howes, Doggy. Yeah, there's a big crew down there and their family and kids. So it was a 30 points to 12 loss to the Manly Warringah Seagulls. We had a lot of changes in the team week to week throughout the whole year, but in particular this week, with people playing in the centres, back rowers. We named 3 hookers. They're just trying to keep their head above water at the moment. It's been a bit of a tough go at the moment. But look, I thought they started well, to be honest. It was always hard. Before our teams were announced, you look at the two halves, AJ playing fullback, Brandon Smith coming out playing hooker was pretty interesting. I'll talk about his performance later, but I was just wondering where the points were going to come. We don't have those ball players, your Cody Walkers, even your Bud Sullivan's a bit of a playmaker. Look, Cody Walker and Latrell out, they're big outs in any team. In our team, they're huge outs. So that first 15-minute period, I thought we were on top. We had the field position, we were defending well. But you look up on the scoreboard and it was 0-0. Like, we hadn't put any points on the ball. We needed to score 2 tries early to give ourselves an opportunity to put some scoreboard pressure on Manly, and maybe they would have come up with a few errors. But look, Manly at Brookie is a tough task, and it's a tough task for anyone, any team. And Manly just sort of once they got that bit of field position, you got your Cherry Evanses, your Trebojeviches, and I love Lehigh Hopewade, what he does. Look, I think our advantage, the only advantage we would have had was in the forward pack. We could have matched them there, so I think we needed to keep it down the tram lines a bit more. Play it down the middle of the field. We were never going to run around Manly. They haven't got the speed in your Saabs and your Kohlers and Ruben Garricks, and we don't really have that electrifying speed on the inside backs or the outside backs. So you do with Ty Munro and AJ, but the rest of them aren't exactly speedsters. So it was a tough old game. Manly ended up, they were in full control by half time, but about 25-30 minutes into it. We were down a fair score at half time, 20-0 or something. And look, we came back with a bit of a flurry at the end, and I was happy for the Bunnies to at least put a few tries on the board. We couldn't kick a goal, but anyway, that's the way it goes. Look, Brandon Smith, let's chat about his debut. I thought he looked pretty dynamic there early in the game. Obviously, he got a bit gassed. There was periods there, 10 minutes into it, he was pushing out in the centres to try in defence to try and get some air in the lungs. Obviously, that's going to come with match fitness and that. And I thought when he came on his second spell, he sort of got us rolling, got the ruck rolling, and played that ball-playing lock roll. And I like the look of that. It's just salivating. But the injury, there's a hip drop. I don't know where the NRL or what they're looking at, at the very least, it's a penalty. I thought it was a classic hip drop. He went in, he lost his legs, he went down. Smith sort of hurt the inside of his knee. Could have been an ankle injury too, the way that tackle played out. Look, I know Brandon's good mates with Matty Lodge and leapt to his defence pretty quick. And hats off to Brandon Smith, because that's what mates do for each other, and that's what you want. I loved his speech before the game and the passion he showed, and he loves playing for the red and green jersey. That's where his junior club over in New Zealand was red and green, and he was a Bunnies fan when he was a young fella. So yeah, it was a positive debut. I think Wayne said in the press conference 6 to 8 weeks. Well, let's hope it's a bit closer than that. I don't think it'll be anywhere near 6 to 8 weeks. Media Lincolns don't normally take that long. Let's hope he's only out for a couple of weeks and he finishes the season off strong, because I think there were some positive signs there in a day that there probably wasn't too many really. Liam LeBlanc, feel for Liam, he never gets a lot of minutes, and that was a game where he probably was going to play a lot of minutes. and he ended up getting some back spasms. He just couldn't get it right. He's only on the field for 10 minutes or 12 minutes or something. They got him off. They worked on it for 15 minutes, and in the end, they just gave up in the end, I think, the medical staff. So, yep, for old Liam, he's missed out again, but hopefully it's not too long. We've seen Campbell Graham had back spasms. He's a bit older than Liam. He was out for a couple of weeks with back spasms, so you might see something like that. Look, our best, I think it's pretty obvious, was Tallis Duncan. To go out and have to play out in the centres, for a guy who's pretty much been a middle forward most of his career at South, this year he's found a bit of time in the back row. Out of necessity, I think he had to play centre once or twice with all these injuries we've had in the last 18 months. And look, he had 170 metres. I've got a few things written down here. 70 post-contact metres, 2 line breaks, 2 tries. He marked up against Tommy Turbo. And Tom Turbo did have a good game, and there was even times where Tommy jumped on the left-hand side as well. He's such a class player, Tommy Turbo. It's good to see him play some good footy, not against South. So I don't want to see him play too much good footy against South, but it is what it is. And look, Tallis Duncan was quite easily my man of the match on a South perspective. I thought he was really good. But I want to give her up to the halfback. I think Matty Humphries had some good moments too. I thought defensively, he played well. He's a bit like a Lockie Illis. He doesn't create a lot of chances. He's not a real creative half. Lockie was the same. I think he's got a stronger kicking game than Lockie. And defensively, look, what do you have? 24 tackles, 1 miss. And I know they targeted him a lot out on that edge. And he come up with a couple of really big tackles in that first half that he should be very proud of himself there. He did really well. Another one is AJ, going back to fullback. We know what a class player he is. He had a try assist on the day, 4 tackle breaks, 164 metres. Led all backs for run metres. Look, he was sort of everywhere. He had a couple of errors. I think one of them they outleft him once or twice there, but that's going to happen in a game like that, isn't it? I thought he was pretty strong. There's a few other moments there where we just let. I think it was Kohler when he got turned underneath late in the second half. He beat about 5 or 6 Rabbitohs before. Junior Datola dragged him down 2 metres out from the line and a try save. That should have been a try there had Junior not be there, but he was just able to pour through the middle. I think there was another one where Tommy Travojevic was turned underneath and the boys just weren't moving their feet, and he pretty much had a just one-on-one tackle with AJ and went over. So look, there was a couple of disappointing defensive efforts, but I just think they're getting tired, our boys, just guys that are probably not used to playing, especially like someone like a Lachlan Hubner. He's only played a few first grade games before he got to South, and he's been asked to play every week in the middle and 50, 60 minutes, and it's the NRL. There's nowhere to hide in the NRL. It's the toughest game in the world, and some of them are getting a little bit tired, but they're going to. This is all going to be better for the run, and in the next couple of years, these guys have got game time under their belt. They've got experience. It's going to be much better for the future with all the exposure they're getting. I'm not sure who's coming back in the next few weeks, but you'd like to think Latrell comes back. Origin's on tomorrow night. We're going to go watch it down here at Cocoon. There's a big buzz over here about it. Seen a lot of Origin jerseys and singlets and stuff like that, so that's going to be pretty interesting. That might be about it on that game. It wasn't a memorable game for us. Going over to Brookie is always tough, but I thought the start was positive, but we just didn't come up with any points. If you add Latrell or Cody to that side with that first 15-minute period we had, I think we put 12 or 15 points on the board there, and it could have been a different game, but anyway, wasn't to be. The lower grades Friday night. I've got Bar TV on over here. Thank God for Bar TV. It was a quite entertaining match. The New South Wales Cup, 30 points to 26. Like Declan Casey had a couple of tries. Carson Ko was good. He scored one. He set one up as well with some good ball playing. He's a good young strong centre who's still learning his craft. He's only a kid. He was only playing flag last year. Peter Mamazoulis had some nice touches, but look, again, the player of the match in that one, I thought was Shaq Mitchell, just playing that first receiver, Sam Cassiano style role, because Louis Dodd just doesn't touch the ball enough in that age group, in that New South Wales Cup. He's got a nice kicking game. Louis had a nice repeat set late in the game, but his fingerprints aren't on any tries. We scored 26 points. He didn't really set any up at all. He had a hand in one in the second half. But Shaq Mitchell, he had a try assist just by playing that. They don't know whether he's going to run it or pass it. And he scored a barge over try next to the post early in the first half. Off a nice Peter Mamazoulas deception pass there. Then he had another one where he was at first receiver and they jammed in him when he kicked it. He tipped it on to Whakaosi, who had a one-on-one tackle. He scored. They played some pretty good footy. They could have got away with it. They had another pass that went along Australia. I think it was Lewis Dodd again, threw it behind Thomas Fletcher, and they scooped it up and scored. It was a bit of a nothing try that we could have prevented, and we might have got away with that game because Ashton Ward's another one who's playing well, the young halfback. I've mentioned it before, he's very much in that Luke Keary mould. If you want to go back and have a look at that one I clipped up of a try he scored where he went the short side. Luke Keary was a short side specialist. You only have to go back to the semi-final against the Roosters 2-14, the grand final. He had a couple of short side raids. That's what he done. He counted the numbers really well, Luke Keary, and so does this Ashton Ward. And they're both very slight players, very quick. Geez, he's got some speed. He's kicking. He's a goal kicker. His radar wasn't quite on the other night. He kicked a couple of tough ones and missed a few probably easier ones, I suppose. But good game that one. The flag, we were touched up. I think it was 30-0 at one stage, and we've come back with a bit of a flurry. I think Yaya Yache was probably the pick of the bunch there. He had a couple of tries. Look, there's some good players in that Jersey flag side for Penrith. Jaira Lydia, he's a star. I think he had 3 or 4 tries in the game. Zachariah Clark, unbelievable goal kicker. Maybe one of the best young goal kickers in that age group, in the under-21. Second rower, big unit, dead-eye Dick goal kicker. Me and Brownie called him at Redfern, and he was unbelievable. So, couple there to look out for. We're into the bye week. The rest up. Look, it'd be nice if Brandon Smith gets a scan and a positive scan, and he's only out for the bye week, for example, and comes back straight after the bye. But that's all there is to it. I think South continue to sign players behind the scenes, younger, bigger, stronger players. I'm sure they'll get onto that announcement shortly. They're continuing to stock the shelves. I think we had an under-15 schoolboys carnival last week. We had a couple of really good young players in. I'm not going to mention all their names, but we had one there for Queensland, a big front row, a giant 15-year-old. But they're coming. I know at the moment it's hard to get excited when we're passionate fans to watch them getting beat all the time. What's that, 5 or 6 on the trot? We've lost now. Look, the win seems a long way away, but look, rugby league, 7 days is a long time in rugby league, and guess what? 14 days is even longer because we've got the bye coming up. But anyway, go the Blues. Good luck with all that. I think Brian Toto out there on that left wing might score a couple of tries again. And the Blues, I think we'll get away with about a 14-point win. I've got the Blues down for. So you might be able to jag a 13-plus margin. But anyway, over and out from the island of Bali. Got a party to go to this afternoon. Big South fan, Stevie Reeves, over there at Cocoon. And knock back a couple of beers. But that'll be it. Sampai Jupa Lagi. There you go. That might be it for another edition of Rabbitohs Radio Podcast. Up the mighty Rabbitohs.